Hi, it's me again. First of all, I wanted to start by saying that somebody hid my favorite apron. But you can take the apron away, but you're not going to be able to take Mama's saying away. Don't make me mad, or don't make me poison your food. So wherever that apron is, I hope it shows up soon. Okay, today I want to show you how to make a baguette, because Tommy, you are getting a baguette pan like mine. And you were supposed to get it in the mail yesterday, and it was delayed. So hopefully you get it soon. But in the meantime, you had asked me if I'd make you a video showing you how to make the baguettes. So it's very similar to just making the regular, I'm making it out the sourdough recipe. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. I already added my 3½ cups of bread flour and 1 teaspoon of salt. Then I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of this sourdough starter. And this is the 150-year-old San Francisco starter. So I'm going to just measure 3/4 of a cup of it in here. And I don't know if I mentioned this to you. I don't think I did. But most people name their starter. And so this particular one I had named Lulu. So, you know, Tommy, you and Devin might want to go ahead and name your starter too. Pick a name for it. And then I'm going to add 1 1/4. Oops. This should be 1 1/4. Just a second. I put too much in here. Let me just. No, I didn't. I'm sorry. I thought I put too much water in my cup. Sorry about that. I'm going to just pour my water through this cup to kind of get the rest of the starter out of there. Just kind of rinse it out a little bit. Okay, so I've got it all in here. I'm going to mix it just like I do the regular, because it's going to be the same recipe as the sourdough. But I'm using my bread dough mixer here today. So once again, you know, we're going to mix it. It's going to look a little raggy looking. But that's the way it's supposed to be. Don't work with it too much. But I'm going to set it aside, and about a half an hour, I'll come back and kind of just stretch it out a little bit, form it into a ball. Then I'm going to cover it and let it just rise for a long time, actually, anywhere from 8 to 12 hours, depending on what the temperature is. So I'm going to set this aside right now, come back in a half an hour, kind of stretch it out. Then after I do that, I'm going to show you, I have one that I'd already done. This has been rising for about 10 hours. So, and we're going to be ready to go ahead and make a baguette. We're going to actually make 3 baguettes, because this baguette pan has 3 slots, and this is a great baguette pan, let me just say. So here we go. I'm just going to take the dough out just like I would if it was a regular, I was going to make a regular loaf. You know, it's a little sticky, but you can see it has lots of, oh, it's nice and stretchy. I'm using a little flour just to help me get it out. Looks really good. There's, you know, you can see bubbles in it, which is a great sign. Feels really good. So I'm going to lay it just out here. I'm going to have to put it into 3 different size baguette logs. So I'm just going to set it here for a sec. And then I want to explain to you, you know, when we do the bread, we usually use the special bread basket that we put the flour in. Well, we don't have a bread basket for that. So what we're using is, it's a pastry cloth, and it's actually kind of a thick cloth, and it's used for pastry. You don't wash it. You just shake it out when you're done, so some flour will stay on it. Today I'm trying something a little bit different. I've decided to try, you know, you can crease it so it stays into the sections, but I put some little paper clips on today, and I think that's going to help hold it in shape a little bit. Because I'm just going to make 3 skinny logs, and then I'm going to let it rise for the 2 hours like we do a normal loaf of bread. So here I am. I'm just going to try to cut it into 3 even-ish kinds of pieces. I don't know. Let's see. I think those look pretty good. And then what I'm going to do is Ooh, you can see little bubbles here. Okay, so then I'm gonna kind of stretch it, and I want it to be about the length of the baguette pan. I twist it a little bit, just a little bit. It'll give a little bit of a kind of a interesting little feature to it when it's done. So I'm just gonna stretch them out. Got a little flour on them because it is a little bit sticky, but that's okay. You want them to be a little bit sticky. Just do a little twisty a little bit. You want them to look a little bit rustic. You don't want it too even. Okay, so now the bread cloth, we want to make sure we get enough flour in there because we don't want the dough to stick. So there we go. Got it floured up. Now our baguettes are going to be ready for their second rising. Okay, there we go. There's one. Here's two. Okay, and then here's the third one. Okay, so they look pretty good. So now I'm just gonna let this, I'm gonna cover it up with, maybe throw a piece of plastic wrap or something over it, and I'm gonna go ahead and let it rise for 2 hours. After 1 hour, after this has been rising for 1 hour, I'm gonna put the baguette pan with the lid on it in the oven at 450 degrees. Because that's, you need to have it really hot when you're going to put your bread in. So it's just like making a regular loaf, but these are going to be baguettes. And the baguettes are great. You can make sandwiches out of them, cut it down the middle, make a nice sandwich. Or our family favorite is to make bruschetta. So after this comes out, after I bake them later, I am going to show you how I make my bruschetta. And let me just say, it's going to be pretty darn yummy. So we will see you in 2 hours. Hi, I'm back, and look here, we've got our baguette. It looks like it's ready to put in the oven. A little bit sticky. I probably should put a little bit of flour on top. Those rose really pretty. So an hour ago, these have been rising for 2 hours. An hour ago, I turned on the oven to 450 degrees, and I put my baguette pan in. Love my baguette pan. Thank goodness that Williams-Sonoma delivers during this pandemic. Okay, so here's my baguette pan. You can see it's being well used already. Okay, I'm going to flour each of the little indentations for the baguettes. We don't want our bread to stick. Okay, now here, this is going to be the fun part. Getting these out. Oh, good, I got them floured good. Okay, here goes one. Put that one in here. Ooh, doesn't that look good? Okay. Now we're gonna, oh, this is a big boy. Okay, we're gonna try to put this in here. That one's in. Look at that bubble. My goodness. Okay, and here goes the last one. Okay, now I'm going to want to get my little lame out. And like I said before, you can use a razor blade if you want. But this is my little tool here. I'm just going to put a few little slots. Oh my goodness, look at all those bubbles. That's crazy. Okay, so now I'm going to put the top back on. We're going to let this cook. I'm actually going to put mine onto convection, and I'm going to let it cook a little bit under 450. So here goes the top. This is always the tricky part. It's pretty hot. Got it on. This should cook for about 25 minutes. So I'll probably come back in 20 minutes and check it. So let's see, I'll set a timer. I'm going to come back at 18 minutes and check it, just to see how we're doing. Okay. Okay, while our bread is baking in the oven, the baguettes, I'm going to start bruschetta because today, or this evening, what I plan to do is take the bruschetta, slice it up, toast them with garlic oil on them, and then spread some bruschetta on it. So a really great way to peel the tomatoes is to take a fresh tomato, put it in boiling water. I'll put 2 in there. And what that'll do is it'll loosen up the skin. So we'll let those sit for a few minutes and then I'll just cut up the other things. Okay, the ingredients that we're going to use today in the bruschetta is I'm going to use some fresh basil, of course, some garlic, and this is a pretty big one here. Then I'm going to put some olive oil and some salt in it. So this little thing of oil, I put some garlic in it, and I'm letting that just kind of savor and get some of the garlic taste to the oil. And this is what I'll brush on top of the bruschetta slices today to spread the bruschetta mixture on. Okay, so I'm just gonna chop up some basil, fresh basil here. It's gonna go in. Oh, it smells so good. Love basil. You know, our family is really into appetizers, so this is gonna be a great one tonight. Okay, I'll just chop a little bit up. Don't need it too fine. Okay, I'm just going to put that in the bowl here. Okay, now I'm going to do the garlic here. And I'll just chop these up kind of fine too. Sometimes I use a garlic press, but today I'm just going to chop them kind of fine. Oh, why do I love that smell so much? Okay, so this is going to go in. So easy to make, and it's so good. Make sure I get all that garlic in there. Okay, now let me check and see how my tomatoes are doing. I'm sure they're doing okay here. Maybe a little bit longer. We're just going to let them cool until we see the, what'll happen is, well, this one's starting, you'll see the skin kind of start to break, and that's going to make it really easy for us to peel them. So let's just give them a sec. Doesn't overly cook them. So let's see, just a few more minutes. Okay, the tomatoes, as you can see, they've boiled. I took them out. You can see how loose the skin is. This is going to make it really easy for us to get the skin off now. Yeah, that one, it just came right off. Okay, let's peel this one. Look at my great little tip here. So they came straight right off. So what we're going to do now is just take the little stem out here. That one's a little tough to get out. And cut this one out. Okay, now we're just going to chop this up. You can either take the seeds out or not. I don't mind leaving the seeds in. Sometimes I'll take the seeds out. Sometimes I'll leave them in. But today I think I'm just going to leave them in. Make it really tasty. So I'm just going to kind of chop these up kind of rustically. Okay, now I'm going to add the tomatoes. Let me drain them just a tiny bit. Okay. So now I'm just going to put them in with the basil and the garlic. I'm going to mix it up a little bit. Then I'm going to add some olive oil. As you can see, I'm not very good at measuring. Oops. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to add is some fresh ground salt. Well, that looks pretty good there. I'll taste it a little bit. Just to see. So good. This is going to be great on our baguette. So what I'm going to do is I'll just cover this up and put it in the fridge until our baguette's ready. And then, and has cooled off, we'll make the toast. Then we'll take the baguette, slice them up, put some of the garlic oil on them, toast them, and then just put a little bit of the tomato mixture on it. Super easy appetizer and so good, especially with the fresh baguette. Okay, we'll see you in a few minutes when the bread's done. Okay, we're ready now to check and see how our bread is doing. It's interesting to see what it's going to look like when you pull the top off. Oh, those are looking good. They need to brown a little bit more. Let me check the temp on them. Yep, the bread's done, but we just want to get a little bit more of a browning on them. But boy, did these puff up. Okay, let's just shut the oven and we'll leave these in here for about 3 minutes more. Hi, here we are again. The bruschetta, or the baguettes have pretty much cooled. I sliced them with just a serrated bread knife. And now I'm going to just brush each of them with the olive oil that's infused with some garlic. So they've just been kind of sitting here, so I'm just going to hurry through these. And then I'm just going to put them in the oven and toast them. Look at those neat pockets in there. You can see all the little pockets in the bread. I probably sliced them a little bit thicker than I usually do, but I think I cut it a little when it was still a tiny bit warm, so I had to cut them a little bit larger, a little bit thicker. I don't think anybody will complain, however. Okay, now I'm just going to stick these in the oven to brown them, and then we'll be ready to have bruschetta very, very soon. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, here we are again. Look at these. We got 3 nice baguettes. They actually came out pretty puffy. I'm going to take them out and put them on, stick them up here just to cool off on. A little bit hot still. So we're going to put them on a rack just to cool a little bit, and then we'll come back when these are cool and finish up our bruschetta. But I think we're going to have a pretty good appetizer tonight. Okay, hi, I'm back again. These have toasted. I put the garlic infused olive oil on them, and they're just lightly toasted. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of the bruschetta mixture on them. They're going to be really yummy. Just the fresh basil, the tomatoes, garlic. Who doesn't like basil? I don't know, it's so good. Yeah, this is a great little appetizer. Open up a bottle of wine. I think anybody will be happy. You can smell the garlic and basil as I'm doing this. It smells so good. Okay. And as my grandchildren say, easy peasy. So this is great. But then you look too, we have 2 baguettes left, so we can make a sandwich out of one. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bag one up. Stick a little sticker on it. And somebody will get a little gift today. And like I said, this one would be great. You could slice it up and make some sandwiches, a nice sandwich roll. But yeah, that's just out of one loaf of bread made 3 baguettes, dough for it. So I will say goodbye to you guys for now, and hopefully tell me you'll request another recipe. Bye.